Hey everyone, it's been a while since I made a video. I figured I'd get back to it. We're gonna go over my new drift car today. It is a 2004 Infiniti G35 and it has a Gen 4 LS in it. Yeah, we'll just kind of go over some stuff and that's done to it, and then we're gonna work on it a little bit to try to get it ready for the event this weekend in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Slider was at the zoo. Saturday, March 22nd, be there. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, there are some things holding me up from working on it more, and I got some of the stuff today. So some of the things we're waiting on is a pilot shaft bushing for the transmission, because it does have a CDO9 transmission, but the bell housing is cut off and it has this ICT billet adapter and a T56 bell housing. So it does share the CDO9 input shaft, and that has to be adapted. A bushing has to be in here, and then the CDO9 pilot shaft bushing is what gets used. I do have a Sickie rear mount oil pan, rear sump oil pan, and that being said, the ISR headers didn't exactly fit that well, so we had to clearance some. But I do have a 120-degree fitting on the front here that I'm gonna route through the front, and I have a 150 here on the back, and we're gonna be doing that tonight. Once we get that done, then we can mount the header. I just have 2 bolts holding it in right now, and I don't know if you also saw, but the engine is currently being held up by this bar, so there are no, it is not being held in at all. I can literally move this thing and it's not scary at all. But anyway, yeah, so a couple things I'll go over on the car that I did since I got it. It does have a full GK Tech angle kit with lower arms, the knuckles, uppers, Fortune Auto coilovers. It does have a GK Tech rack relocation, so now our geometry is nice and true here. There's no rack spacers. That kit did come with solid rack bushings, and I do not have an alignment yet. I still need to put my rack bushings, my steering rack extenders in, but we'll get to that later. Tonight we're just gonna focus on some other stuff. We come back here and we got a welded diff with some Sickie solid diff bushings. We got a GK Tech diff brace, GK Tech solid bushing mount back here. It does have adjustable arms on it right now, but I got new GK Tech ones. Also spherical bushings for all of the knuckles, and we will not be putting that in before this event. That'll be a future thing. But and I also got bushing collars to go in here to make solid bushings. So okay, so the first thing that we're going to be working on, well, we just got the header off. We're going to mount our oil filter relocation bracket. It fits right here. It's hitting this motor right now because I got it pulled over. But basically, this bottom line here has to go to this front fitting where we have our 120-degree fitting. And then our second fitting is going to go, I do not have enough room. No, I really don't want to beat the header more in. Plus it's going to be super cramped and it'd be way easier. I just put a 150 here. I'm going to route it under here, run it up, and then it's going to go to that front bracket. So we're going to make some lines, and yeah. All right, first thing we're going to do is get a measurement from our first front fitting here. We're going to loop it around and come into this 90 coming out of the oil filter block. All right, so we made a mark right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. We're gonna make our first cut. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our hose in this vise, and we're gonna pinch it a little bit, just kind of hold it. And then we're gonna put our tape right in the middle of our cut, which is right here. You want to put the tape on here so that when you cut your nylon, it doesn't get all frizzy on you. Should probably mark this. Oh, nice. Okay, now we're gonna get our cutoff wheel. And then our cut, we wanna make our cut straight, nice and straight, but we also kinda wanna cut it fast. We don't wanna get too much heat into the line. Okay. Now our debris inside here, we wanna get all that out of there. And we're gonna spray it with some brake cleaner. Get as much debris out as we can. We're gonna take our fitting apart. This is an ORB fitting, by the way. It's so you can go right into a, usually most of your fittings will have a ORB adapter. So you just find the size you need. This would be a -10. This gets you, by doing it this way, you get a little bit more clearance. I got to be a little bit closer to the engine block. Okay. It grabs the nylon inside of here. There's little ribs in there. Then this piece here is tapered and it goes in the hose, and then we're gonna tighten this up as we go. So first thing, we're gonna go ahead and put our line in here just to hold it for us. We can go ahead and take our tape off now. Take our tape off of our thumb. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of work this on the nylon here without trying to fold it over. And then we just want to make sure that our line is touching the end of the threads there, all the way around. That's why it's important to make a straight cut as well. Now we're gonna put a little bit of lube on here. Oh yeah, it's a good sound. Well, now that our hose is in, we're gonna go ahead and just move this over. And then we just want to make sure our hose doesn't move out. So we're just going to kind of push on our hose as we start our fitting. Just make sure it feels good. And it indeed does feel good. We're just going to crank on this thing until she bottoms out. Ugh, there we go. We successfully put one hose fitting on. Now I'm just going to do the same thing to this side. All right, let's see how it fits. Okay, some confusing parts. People get mixed up sometimes. Making sure that your oil ports go to the correct port on your oil filter. So this front one comes from the oil pump, okay? Then we're going to pump oil from there into this part of the oil filter housing. Easy way to remember that is the oil filter is always going to go through here first, through the filter, then through here, out of this line, and then to this back fitting, which is why we're going to route it underneath the oil pan here. This is set up so I can add a cooler to it, which I'm pretty happy about. But for right now, we're not going to add a cooler, but we're going to do that in the future. So, hi Tasha. Hey, don't forget to put on your heat wrap. And we have our lines installed. Heat wrap's on. Got this ran under the oil pan. It's not exactly how I wanted to run it, but I am happy with it because there's no super tight turns. I don't see this hose collapsing. This is not cheap hose. It is stainless steel braided. I do have heat wrap on both lines. But yeah, So that's done now. And now we can go ahead and tighten up our brackets here, bracket bolts. And then we can put our header on. And then we can put the engine in and we'll probably be done for the night. All right. Got the engine on the mounts. Chains loose. Oil lines are in. Header's tight. Spark plugs are in. Oh man. Oil filter mount is mounted. Man, it's starting to look like a running, driving car again. So cool. Well, it's like 11:30 at night. I got what I wanted to get done tonight. So I'm gonna call it a night, but we're gonna come back tomorrow. Hopefully do some more stuff. I don't know what it is. I'm really tired right now, but I'll talk about it in the next scene.